This is going to be exciting.
Yeah, they got coverage, starts up to go. Green flag is out and we're underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go. He's gonna win it here in spectacular fashion.
Tonight, in the Glove Station ARCA Summer Series, we're hitting a classic track, one that is always a driver's favorite. Tonight, we're at Auto Club. We've got 70 laps of Goat Locker racing action tonight with a 38-car field, and it'll all be right here, live on V-Speed. I'm Sky Shrek. I'm joined by Dave Regal up here in the booth, and Michael McCarthy is our producer tonight. Dave, tell us about why these drivers love Auto Club so much.
First of all, Auto Club was a track that came around when this specific ARCA chassis was still the Cup car. So, this is something that drivers are really comfortable with. These cars were designed for this. 2 miles long, 14-degree turns. And the crazy thing is that this is more called a D-shaped oval. So it's not a tri-oval. These guys are going to be wheeling those shoulders all the way through 3 and 4, through the front stretch and down 1 and 2. This is a serious labor-intensive track here just outside of Fontana, California.
Yeah, and with this track being the way it is, with these ARCA cars set up the way they are, I think we're going to see potentially a lot of drafting tonight too, which could keep these cars even closer together and just add to the fun that we are going to have tonight in this ARCA car. We're going to take a look at our schedule here for the season. We are in race 7 out of 8. We started in the first half with Daytona, Kentucky, Darlington, and Homestead. We just got done with our 2-race short track schedule. Richmond and Bristol, those races were swept by Joseph McWhorter, who has been dominant this season. We're at Auto Club, tonight in these ARCA cars, and we've got Old Atlanta next week to round out your season. As mentioned in the point standings, it is a 23-point gap out front for Joseph McWhorter, who has put on a show, taking 4 of 6 races this season. Barrett Morton sits in P2, and then it is another 27 points back from Barrett Morton to Sean Kaiser in 3rd. So McWhorter and Morton really the only two with a proper shot at the title right now. The rest of your top 10 is Mark Whitley in 4th, Alan Smith P5, David Calvert 6th, Brandon Wallace 7th, Kevin Price 8th, Chuck Feltz 9th, Andy Kurtz 10th, and then we are tied for 11th there with Jamie Libke and Brock Price just behind Andy Kurtz. As mentioned, we have a very full field tonight. We're showing 39 cars at the current moment in the session. for this race, and we'll tell you who's got the pole and where your points leaders are sitting after the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
We are back here at Auto Club, and as these drivers start to grid up, we're going to get right into our starting lineup for tonight's race. As mentioned, looks like we got 39 cars out here. This is going to be one heck of a show, and your Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award winner by a whole 1/10 of a second is going to be the 74 car of Mark Whitley. Getting it done, he'll roll off on the front row once again with that Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award. In second place, you might see him up here in the broadcast booth on V-Speed from time to time. He's hitting the track. It's Logan Threlkeld in the 69. Jonathan Cofield goes from third in the 53. Lucas Lyons, fastest car in practice, rolls off fourth in the 17. Your top two in points occupy row 3. That's Joseph McWhorter in the 72. Barrett Morton in the 9. Zachary Minnis in the 364 will go from P7. Third in points, Sean Kaiser from 8th. And then your row 5 will be Tyler Justice in the 33 and Charles Avert in the 7.
Rolling off on the inside of row number 6 in 11th position is Jeremiah Holt in his number 73 machine. He'll be alongside Eldon Stewart in that ace there in 12th position. Mark Cofield going to roll off alongside Jacob Lenke in row number 7, while Jake Ellingson starts in 15th position along Stefan Davis. Daniel Parks and Casey Jones going to be in row number 9 in 17th and 18th position, while 19th goes to Alan Smith in the 00 alongside Andy Kurtz rolling off in 20th.
21st tonight, Kyle Deering in the 50, Brandon Wallace in the 99 goes from 22nd. 23rd, Ricky Sisk in the 12, Benjamin Richards 24th in the 56. Dave Calvert in the 027 goes from 25th. Jamie Libke in the 16 from 26th. 27th will be Doug Ellingson in the 58 next to Sidarius Dias in the 45. And your last cars in the top 30, Travis Bieber and Daniel Kerkeel.
Josh Unger going to roll off in 31st position with Colton Sisk in 32nd. Brett Bieber, the other half of the Route 73 Mafia, he's going to be on the inside of row number 17 alongside 34th position Levi McCarty. Craig Bontrager going to be in 35th with Daniel Cunningham in 36th. And it looks like that should be it for the drivers that laid down lap times. Douglas Macedo and Jeremy Gardner not taking the start.
Brock Price not setting down a lap time either. Does not look, or he is out on the racetrack. He will go from last. Did not set a quali time. Pace car is going to roll through 3 and 4 and will be off this time, and we will get rolling tonight. for 70 laps of racing at Auto Club. 65% fuel load. You got 4 tire sets, 3 of them in the pits. Mark Whitley, Logan Threlkeld, your front row, and as we hit the restart zone, we're green at Auto Club.
Contact between the 17 and the 30 as the green flag flies, but Mark Whitley able to step away early here and start to gap himself along with Jonathan Cofield. The High Line trying to get their act together, but the 72 of Joseph McWhorter is lurking here down in 4th position. Now getting some momentum behind him is going to be that 30 machine.
You saw a couple cars in the wall there off of 2. Logan Threlkeld, one of them, got a little bit high there, scraped the fence. Doesn't look like he lost too much time, but doesn't want to do that more or else it could hurt him. We're fanning out all the way 3 wide further back in the field here. Drivers using every inch of space to try to get some moves done. That's the 73 car of Jeremiah Holt working all the way up on the top next to Zachary Minnis and Tyler Justice. We're getting crazy here in the early portion of this race, and we got a car around. That's Jeremiah Holt. Big one at Auto Club.
This is not going to make anybody happy, especially on lap number 2. Oh, and they're still not done wrecking deep in the field. My goodness, the 73 racked up in it, as well as literally half of the starting top 12. I'm almost afraid to look at the replay.
That started up with that 73 car of Jeremiah Holt, was running just inside the top 10, trying to make some time on the high side. And it all went wrong very quickly there. We'll see it on that Glove Station ARCA Series replay. He's working on the outside. That's Tyler Justice in the 33 under him. Zachary Minnis in the 364. Working ahead of him. Looks like you've got 72 of McWhorter there as well. Let's see what happens to him here. Oh, it's contact with Minnis from behind, and that turns him into Ellingson. Big hit for Abert. Huge damage there for the one of Eldon Stewart, and a couple other cars sent heavy into the wall. You do get one fast repair tonight, and I think we are going to see a lot of drivers use it right here.
I'd be more concerned if I didn't see people use it right here. This early in the race, you know, you can either burn your fast repair early or late. When you have to use it in the middle of the race, you know, you're kind of gambling with house money. But, you know, at least when you've got, you know, early or late in the race, you know that you've got the time to make up that ability.
Yeah, we're going to see it out of a couple cars here. I'd imagine it would come from, looks like Mark Deering was pretty tore up. Mark Cofield, Jake Ellingson, Douglas Macedo, Joshua Unger, Jeremiah Holt, Levi McCarty, all cars who are maybe looking to take that fast repair here, and a lot of cars down pit road now to do just that.
And just as a programming note here, Logan Threlkeld is being scored as the 69, but is appearing on your screens as the 30 Lucky Strike machine. So
yes, he is.
I just realized I was screaming 30, but he is being scored as the 69.
Yeah, we got a couple cars like that in the field. We'll point them out to you tonight when we see them. Right now, we want to thank one of our partners with Goat Locker Racing. That is InVets. InVets is founded by veterans for veterans, and they aid in transitioning to civilian life, focusing on job placement and finding the right community for veterans and their families to ensure their success and happiness. They're a veteran nonprofit in the state of Indiana with the goal of bringing veterans to that state to both live and work, and they are the title sponsor of the Sunday Truck Series, and they've always been very supportive of Goat Locker Racing, so we thank InVets for all they do around here and their continued support of our racing. Back up front, the order in the top 5 hasn't changed too much. It's still Mark Whitley, Jonathan Cofield, Logan Threlkeld, Lucas Lyons, and Barrett Morton. We're going to try to get a count now on the amount of cars who've taken that fast repair, but the number is at least a dozen, it seems. We'll just go through some names here off the running order. Jamie Libke, Casey Jones, Mark Cofield, Brandon Wallace, Jeremiah Holt, Eldon Stewart, Daniel Krakeel, Joshua Unger, all showing fast repairs, along with Cunningham, Bieber, Abert, Ellingson, Deering, Richards, McCarty, Ellingson again. So a lot of fast repairs that are being taken.
Yeah, I mean, to do that early in the race, now you really got to take care of your equipment and try to stay out of the way. For a lot of these drivers, it may be wise just to kind of dive out of the way, stay clear for the time being until some of those other drivers get themselves removed the hard way, if you will. Mark Whitley sitting behind the iRacing.com pace car, bringing the field down the backstretch. These cars up here, at least in the top 10, still look nice and shiny and everything's still glowing off them. I think that there's just nothing cooler than when they come down the backstretch on a night race and you see those lights reflecting off the hood.
Oh yeah, a night race at Auto Club is always a ton of fun, and it tends to lead to a little bit more drafting action because the track temp is a bit lower, the tires don't wear quite as much. The speeds are a little higher and you're able to get some really close racing. You saw that in our first 2 laps under green flag riding. Track temp tonight is only 77 degrees. That is very, very cool for a track temp. So with the sun down, the speeds and the grip are gonna be up for this race. We'll go back green on lap 6. It's Whitley and Cofield into the restart zone. Whitley jumps, green flags back out.
Yeah, our producer just reminding us that this is our first night race all season. I feel like, this season is really whipped by. I mean, the summer series is so fast because it's, an abbreviated season. But here in the ARCA series, I mean, these guys are just incredible. As now we see the 30 dropping back, looks like Thraukeld is going to go back here, at least behind the 72 of McWhorter as the caution comes out. Sure it does.
Looks like we're going to try to figure out Jake Ellingson is totaled on the back straightaway. They were 4 wide coming out of the corner. He has towed it back to the pits. Or he's probably going to have to tow it back to the pits. And with...
Well, he's still limping around.
Yeah, I believe with that fast repair already taken for that 27 car, that will likely be the end of his night on lap 6. We're going 4 wide out of turn 2. It's contact with the 56 car of Benjamin Richards that does it here off the corner. 1 car goes down, 1 car comes up, and it's a huge, huge hit to the outside wall for Jake Ellingson. Big damage for the 83 of Daniel Kerkeel as well.
Yeah, Kerkeel, of course, our series director for the Glove Station ARCA series, one of our biggest supporters here in the series. It's kind of sad to see him, the St. Louis native, getting sent down to pit road, but Mark Whitley going to regain that race lead for the time being. Want to thank our friends over at Lincoln Tech. Lincoln's mission is to provide superior education and training to our students for in-demand careers in a supportive, accessible learning environment, transforming students' lives and adding value to their communities. They are one of the largest automotive technology schools in the nation with 23 campuses, and they are the title sponsor of the Spring Series and a huge partner here of Goat Locker Racing. And, I cannot say enough good things about Goat Locker in the first place, and Lincoln Tech, of all things, is a huge partner. Great folks over there.
Yeah, we got a lot of great partners, as always, here in the Glove Station ARCA series. We'll shout them out over the course of the night. In fact, we're still under pace laps here. Doesn't look like we had anybody come down pit road, except for some cars with some damage. Pit stops for, looks like Kerkeel, Richards, Wallace, Deering, Ellingson, Daniel Parks, Mark Cofield, and Jeremiah Holt under this caution. Everybody else should stay out. Let's shout out another one of our partners, the title sponsor of the Glove Station ARCA series, Glove Station. At Glove Station, they're committed, to providing quality gloves and protective gear for a wide range of your daily activities and jobs. From tinkering on home DIYs to working in industrial environments and everything in between, Glove Station has got you covered. With the endless amounts of safety products on the market, they want to make it effortless for you to find the right protection to fit your needs. And as mentioned, they are the title sponsor of the Glove Station ARCA series here, a big supporter of what we do, not just in Goat Locker Racing, but also in this series, and we thank them for all they do. How about Brett Bieber? He's up 33-13 in the early stages of this race.
Yeah, you know, sometimes wrecks are bad for some drivers on the racetrack. Other times it is just the greatest payoff in all of racing, especially when you can jump up 20 positions. And I mean, you know, Brett Bieber, for starters, is one of those drivers that we can see him making those moves, and he usually does it in a pretty loud fashion. Tonight, he really hasn't had to do it in a loud fashion. He just lets everybody else get out of his way.
That is true here. We had that big wreck that took out a lot of cars towards the midfield, sent them down pit road to use that faster pair. Brett Bieber not involved in that accident, was able to pick up a bunch of spots. Same thing for a couple other cars. Andy Kurtz has gone from P20 to P10 at the moment, and then you've got Ricky Sisk, who has gone from 23rd to 12th. Even some of the cars who were involved in that accident have made up time. Douglas Macedo has gone from dead last, 39th, up to 16th. Kept it out of trouble. Hasn't used that faster pair. He is making great time. Kind of the opposite situation of Threlkeld there, where Macedo has 69 on the car, but he has 173 on the ticker. So just to note that for future reference, Brock Price in the 43 car, also up, not setting a qualifying time. Started in 37th. Currently running 18th, so you've seen some cars here, especially towards the mid-pack, really be able to make up some time as they stay out of these accidents and keep it running good. Mark Whitley is going to choose the top up here as we come out of 3 and 4. He was on the bottom last time. He'll be on the high side this time. Same front row. He'll have Jonathan Cofield up the inside. Morton and Lyons row 2. As we hit the restart zone, and the green flag is out at Auto Club.
Big stack up here as we get restarted on lap number 10. Hopefully we can start to get into a better groove, but now the 74 of Mark Whitley starts to set sail again. The 53 of Jonathan Cofield slides to the low side, and the Munford, Alabama native now gets himself in a groove. Driver's going to have to go a little bit single file here, maybe get themselves organized. As loose as a goose as the 53, getting a big push here from the 9 of Barrett Morton.
We're seeing a couple different lines being used. These drivers dropping to the bottom in 3 and 4, while that 17 of Lucas Lyons tries to run it high, and he's in the fence, and he's around down there in turn 4 through the grass. No caution. Now caution.
There's the caution
for the spinning Lucas Lyons car.
I thought Lyons had that one covered, and then
the caution was for Doug Ellingson backwards. Couple separate incidents there.
Well, now there's something you don't see every day.
We'll take a look first at Lucas Lyons, and then we'll show you what happened to Doug Ellingson backwards in turn 4. Lyons rolling that top line as he came out of 3 and 4, and he just got tight, hit the fence down there, and kind of went around off the nose of that car behind him. I think that was maybe McWhorter in the 72. Or excuse me, that was Sean Kaiser in the 88 he went around the nose off of. Not really anything Kaiser could have done there. Just got into the fence. This is what happened to that 58 car of Doug Ellingson. 7 car of Charles Abert also involved. A pretty similar situation to what happened to Jake Ellingson here. 1 car goes down, 1 car comes up, and the 58 is around in front of a bunch of different cars. Looking like some damage being taken there for, looks like that's Benjamin Richards in the 56 behind him.
Yeah, the 58 was just kind of pirouetting helplessly down the racetrack and, you know, comes to a blissful rest. But riding on board here with Charles Abert, it seems like he was just kind of nudged along here as he crossed the start-finish line. You know, I think that that's the most interesting thing when you're out here on the racetrack. Some drivers, especially around a wreck, they're thinking, oh, wow, that was incredible. You know, like it really affects the race. And then all of a sudden, Abert just scurries away, doesn't feel a darn thing.
Yeah, Abert was able to get out of that without too much damage, and he will very much be thankful for that because he is one of those drivers that had to use that faster pair very early. Is going to be in trouble here if he had to take some more damage. We want you to donate to Goat Locker Racing at goatlockerracing.org/donate. As a contributor to Goat Locker Racing, Inc., we make sure your donation goes directly to supporting our cause of helping military veterans and first responders Once again, that link is goatlockerracing.org/donate. I'll go into the chat and I'll post it here in just a second, and we thank you for your generosity in regards to that.
Working here on lap number 13 of 70 as we've got the Goat Locker Racing Glove Station ARCA Series live at Auto Club Speedway. And, you know, it's almost like you could feel the writing on the wall. You said earlier on, were we going to have one of these kind of ARCA races at Auto Club, or were we going to have something that was a little bit cleaner? And 3 cautions through 13 laps is not a good average this early on.
No, you would generally want it to be cleaner than this. We're going to go back green this time around, and we've already got quite a few cars out. Jacob Ellingson is the only one who's out of the race. Bontrager is still in the pits fixing some damage. Looks like Daniel Krakeel is as well. And then, as mentioned, we have so many cars who have taken that fast repair, so it has been a race of attrition tonight. But if you're one of the cars who's managed to keep it out of those accidents, if you're Brett Bieber, Andy Kurtz, Ricky Sisk, Douglas Macedo, you probably had a pretty good night just by staying clean.
Yeah, you know, that's something that you hear so often from, you know, seasoned drivers on the iRacing.com servers. Hey, keep it clean, have a nice, easy evening. And that's what we're experiencing a lot of here for some of these drivers. I mean, Ricky Sisk Jr. out here now, they're in 10th position, and Ricky's son, Colton, is up 6 positions back in 26. So combined, the Sisks are up 20 spots.
Yeah, it's been a good race for both Ricky and Colton Sisk in the early stages of this one. Neither driver started particularly well, and I don't think either driver has had the season that they would want so far in this series. Ricky with an average finish of 20th, Colton 23rd. This would be a good night for them to turn their fortunes around, get back on the right track, and get a good finish here in the Glove Station ARCA Summer Series to try and boost their point standings here as we head down to the end of this season. So we're going to have the same front row that we've had on the last couple restarts. It'll be Mark Whitley and Jonathan Cofield once again going from that front row. Same positions as last time, where Whitley prefers that top line. Back in the second row, it'll be your top 2 drivers in points. Joseph McWhorter with a 25-point lead over Barrett Morton there in P2. Morton will go from 3rd, McWhorter from 4th on this restart. Back there at Sean Kaiser, Andy Kurtz, Logan Threlkeld, and Jacob Lanke, your top 8. Pace car will pull off and will slow roll it down into the restart zone. Whitley jumps. Another great one for him as we're back green at Auto Club.
Whitley with a good jump here over McWhorter. Now, McWhorter's been kind of creeping around all night. Now, we talked about it earlier. After this run that McWhorter's been on this season, to qualify P5 is almost like he just wanted to challenge himself a little bit, couldn't fall too far back in the standings. As we get going again here on lap number 15, looks like the 808 here of Brett Bieber side by side with the 06 now of Stefan Davis, and Davis in that Miller Lite machine holding things together, trying to chase down the 364 of Zachary Minnis.
Nearly a moment there at the front. Jonathan Cofield hit that inside wall, or outside wall, excuse me, and darted hard across the racetrack. Lucky there was no one inside of him, as now we're 3 wide behind, rolling off down into turn 1. You've got Morton on the top, Kaiser in the middle, and Threlkeld down on the bottom. Let's see if he can get up there on the inside, make some time on that bottom line. We're going to stay 3 wide down the straightaway as Morton gives a huge push to Jacob Lanke in the 37 for pulling down to the bottom in 3 and 4. No positions decided. Chaos back here as Joseph McWhorter has taken advantage to get up to 2nd.
Sean Kaiser was the meat in that sandwich for almost way too long. Definitely overcooked for the time being. As we sink back here to Zachary Minnis, who is just getting underway in front of the 06 of Stefan Davis. Now they're almost 3 wide side by side now up at the front of this piece behind Mark Whitley. Andy Kurtz out of Quakertown, PA, riding the high side over top of Jonathan Cofield, and they are single file and tight as a snare drum behind him.
It's not really working, but Cofield is sending it on that bottom every time around. The issue is The top lane seems to be a little bit better. The 53 can't get the run off that he wants, and that is really hurting him. Might go 3 wide here. No, the 88 of Sean Kaiser will give a big shot to the bumper of Jonathan Cofield, and that car 198 down into turn 1 as he pulls it up the inside of Andy Kurtz in the 48, trying to steal third away. He'll get clear, and he will jump up to that outside immediately to get ahead of Kurtz.
This is the kind of race that we've come to. Whoa! The 33 almost into the fence. That's Tyler Justice out of Byron, Georgia. Nearly decided to see if he could high-five the fans in the stands, as now he works just underneath Sean Kaiser in the 88. Kaiser with a good run, drafting up behind the 37 now of Jacob Lanky. And Lanky's into the fence and slides down nearly into the nose of the 33. The 9 goes to get out of the way. He scurries to the high side, and now giving a wild hit in the 30 machine is the 69 correction of Logan Threlkeld. Now they're 3 wide, the 37's the mean.
I am not sure how that wasn't an accident. That group is still racing tight back there. You've got Morton, Jacob Lanky, Sean Kaiser all up in that. Back up front, battle for the lead as Cofield has gotten around Joseph McWhorter. Whitley has clipped the apron in 3 and 4, and that might be the shot that Jonathan Cofield needs. He's got the run, he's got the draft, and the 12 car is around. That's Ricky Sisk. Caution flies.
You hate to see that when somebody was having such a good night and then winds up down here on the infield, almost crab walking their way to pit road.
Yeah, not great there for Ricky Sisk. I think he might have just got a little loose off the corner, and there was some contact from behind with the 21 of Levi McCarty that sent that car around. I guess he didn't get loose. It looks like what happened there for Ricky Sisk is he let off the gas on exit. He got really tight, was trying to keep it out of the 808 car of Brett Bieber, one spot in front of him, and when he checked up, 21 of McCarty just got into the back of him. Doesn't look like it'll be too much damage for that 12. He only barely scraped the wall, but that'll definitely be the end of one of his sets of tires.
Yeah, tires generally don't like it when you do that to them, as now it's going to be wholesale pit stops coming down the pit road. Mark Whitley leads the parade as he's going to be chugging down toward pit box number 1.
Everybody down here for 4 tires and fuel at Auto Club. Got one green flag run under our belts, and everybody has chosen to come in now. Actually, we got a couple cars staying out. We'll get to them in a second here as everybody's in pit road. We'll see who the first car out is. Whitley, Threlkeld, Cofield occupying those first 3 pit boxes. First car out is going to be Brock Price playing a little bit of strategy. Who will be out next? Whitley, and it's going to be tight behind him. It's Cofield over McWhorter, over Kurtz, over Morton. And up at the front, looks like we've got 5 cars staying out. Dias, Lyons, Parks, Libke, and Ricky Sisk.
It gets a little stranger even. It's going to be Dias, and then rounding out that is Price, Sisk, and Calbert. They haven't been down pit road at all. And I guess one of the things that's really kind of poking me right in the eye is that if you're not going to come down, these drivers are going to be steamrolled.
Well, what happened here, it looks like Ricky Sisk came down pit road under the caution there because he was already committed when the caution came out, so he just rolled it down pit road. Brock Price missed his pit stall, so I think he is going to come back around and bring it down this time. Lucas Lyons, Daniel Parks, and I think Jamie Libke were in for tires about 10 or so laps ago. And then Sedarius Dias, I don't think has come down at all yet. So Ricky Sisk and Brock Price, who both missed their pit stall, will make the move back down. And your top 5 of Dias, Lyons, Parks, Libke, and Calbert will stay out on pretty varying degrees of old tires up here. Calbert hasn't pit at all. Lyons and Parks are about 9 laps old.
Well, it's going to be an interesting shuffle as here we are on lap number 22. The iRacing.com pace car lights are going to be out this time around. So we should be going back green flag racing Jamie Libke, who was one of the surprise playoff drivers during the spring session, spring series that is, going to be restarting in 4th position. Of course, we do want to thank our good friends over at Jam Printing and Promotions out of Plainfield, Indiana. We are local and we are veteran certified, and when we do well, we can do more good in the community. Since forming in 2013, Jam has contributed printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits, with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They have been with Goat Locker Racing since the very beginning, and they provide GLR with all promotional items, including shirts, hats, decals, dog tags, you name it. Jam is GLR's go-to promotional company, and they sponsor the Pole Award across all series this season as the 45 of Sedarius Dias brings us into turn number 3. Everybody getting those belts tight and those gloves pulled on real snug.
That they are. It's a new look front 4 here. Cars staying out. Dias, Lyons, Parks, Libke in your top 4. And as we slide into the restart zone, the tires will slide for these first few cars. Sedarius Dias is off, but it looks like Lucas Lyons might get him by the time we hit turn 1.
Near contact between the 16 and the 74, as now it looks like Whitley wants to get that lead back. He's going to work alongside Jamie. Whoa! Jamie Libke all of a sudden becomes the middle of that 3-wide special, as now Daniel Parks is going to drop back just a hair.
Ooh.
Oh, this is going to be a disaster. There's 6 cars trying to occupy one spot. Someone's got to make a decision to back out of the throttle, and it looks like for now it's going to be the 53 of Jonathan Cofield who tries to bring some balance to the force.
Sorry about that. I thought we were going to have a wreck there. Dave Calvert went hard down to the inside wall, but brought it back up on the racetrack. He was running top 10. He'll drop back to 20th. 3 wide in this battle. You've got Cofield down on the inside, near contact there with Daniel Parks in the 71. Now it's Andy Kurtz looking on the bottom, and he'll go 3 wide with these drivers. We've got about 6 cars here in a space where you can very barely fit 6 cars. Wild racing out here on lap 24 at Auto Club as that outside lane tries to move down the straightaway. Mark Whitley tries to move up to the bumper of Lucas Lyons. Caution!
You know what they say? Oh, there it is.
We are going to see who that's for. Looks like Ricky Sisk is around. And he was not the car who caused that, though. It is, looks to be major damage for Douglas Macedo. Him and Joshua Unger both took some pretty huge hits in this wreck. Unger, yeah, starts in front of him. Unger with a huge hit to that outside wall there. Ramped another car as well. Some big damage the back of the field.
Well, you know, the only thing that maybe good can come out of that is that it was deeper in the field. That's the only thing I can see with that. I mean, there is no silver lining, especially, you know, 5 cautions over 25 laps. These tires aren't even getting heated up yet.
Well, that was a huge wreck for a bunch of those cars, and I think some of those guys maybe taken their fast repairs and could be done here for the night. We will see on that as some of them are definitely going to have to come down pit road here with some major damage. Unger is one of those drivers who's taken that fast repair. Macedo has also taken the fast repair there on that last pit stop, so I think that'll be, or excuse me, Macedo is just taking the fast repair now. I'm incorrect in that. Douglas Macedo will be able to get back out. I do not think Joshua Unger will be able to get back out. That 51 car is done.
Not unless Christ himself is down there to heal that car. That is toast.
A lot of pit stops for your drivers who stayed out on that last caution. Libke, Sedarius Dias both down, along with a bunch of other drivers. You've got Stephon Davis, Daniel Parks, Ricky Sisk, Benjamin Richards in the pit here.
While we've got a quick minute, let's turn our attention to our Warrior Spotlight. Alexander Sexauer from the United States Marine Corps from 2013 to 2017. Alexander served in the USMC as a field radio operator. He deployed to Syria as part of Operation Inherent Resolve, and he is the recipient of the 10th donated sim rig from Goat Locker Racing. And we are proud to have him as part of the GLR family. from Alexander himself. He says, quote, "I still can't believe this is all real. Thank you so much for making all of this happen for me and our fellow veterans. It genuinely restores a bit of my hope for humanity. With this opportunity, I'll now finally be able to pursue one of my oldest dreams that I can remember, racing." So we look forward to seeing him in the upcoming seasons and series here in GLR. And of course, make sure that you head on over to goatlockerracing.org/donate so that you too can contribute to these sim rigs that are able to be donated to veterans and first responders and folks that literally need the community.
Yeah, 10 is a pretty important milestone here for Goat Locker Racing. A lot of these guys do so much great work really in the community. So many drivers. Jamie Barkus really helps out around here. Patrick Drabick, two of the main guys, and kind of coordinating these sim rig giveaways, and they do some amazing work. Won't be too long before we see Alexander out here on the racetrack in one of these series, maybe in the ARCA car. Who knows? We could see him out here in a few weeks once the fall season starts. So it'll be Lucas Lyons on the front row. Excuse me. He's stayed out, and then Mark Whitley will go from second.
I was going to say, well, and as we work our way down the backstretch, it's going to be Lyons, Whitley, McWhorter, Morton, Justice. That's your top five. Travis Bieber, Jonathan Cofield, Sean Kaiser, Logan Threlkeld, and Andy Kurtz. That's going to be your restarting top 10 as the iRacing.com pace car leads the field. What is that? My goodness.
There was a big checkup there. Threlkeld got into the back of Cofield. No one spun, but that might have been some damage there.
I don't think that's a very friendly thing to do on the racetrack. I mean, I'm not an expert, but that definitely doesn't seem fun.
No, not ideal. A checkup there before we even get to the turn 3 and 4 area is not what you want. Lucas Lyons is the only car in the top 20 who stayed out. Dave Calvert as well, but he's back in 21st. It'll be Lyons, Whitley on your front row. Lyons will jump, but he's on worse tires. Gets it pretty good, though. Green flag out on lap 28.
Sometimes when you're on those older tires, it almost makes everybody else remember, oh, I got to check up, which gives you a little bit of an advantage, at least on your restart. And now the 17 of Lucas Lyons drops down to the low side. He's going to start using as much of that racetrack as he can to try to gain that momentum back and get underway. We look a little bit deeper in the field. Tyler Justice out of Byron, Georgia in the 33. He's the only car on the low side for the time being. And then as I say that, Sean Kaiser dips to the bottom. Kaiser underneath the 9 machine. Oh, you got to be careful. That's Barrett Morton, out of Louisville, Kentucky. Drivers still trying to get their sea legs under him this time, but it looked like McWhorter was trying to use the 17 to draft himself up here to the lead. And get ready, it's going to be the 72 and 74 show.
Mark Whitley has been using the apron down there in 3 and 4. I have never seen that strategy before at Auto Club. That is unique. It's really easy to get loose down there if you're on that apron. He's going to run it high here as we are, I don't even want to know how many wide right there for about 3rd on back. It's going to be Kaiser and Morton doing battle for 4th as we are 3 wide behind them with McWhorter and Threlkeld back in there trying to get that battle sorted. McWhorter is going to free fall through the field here. He has gone all the way back to P9 and falling as Kurtz, Cofield, Kaiser, Travis Bieber have all gotten around him, and we're 3 wide again here. These cars are fanning out everywhere for position. Now it's Threlkeld working for P4.
Yeah, this looks like an unorganized traffic jam during rush hour. I mean, these drivers trying to find any slice of asphalt they can. Oh, into the fence is the 364. He's going to go off pace and now slide behind the 73 of Jeremiah Holt. Now they're going to go side by side. That opens the door for the 34 of Casey Jones, and he can't get the momentum that he needs to get moving and slides back behind the ace of Eldon Stewart.
Yeah, I've never driven in Southern California traffic, but I imagine this is what it's like on the freeway on the way to get to a race at Auto Club. We're 3 wide, 2 rows here. You've got Threlkeld pushing Kaiser in the middle. That is Lanky and Cofield up in that first one, and then McWhorter and Bieber back there in the second one. This is not sorted out between anybody right here. These guys have been going at it for a long time, and the 88 of Sean Kaiser is turned by Cofield. Caution, flies, and huge hit for the 53.
The 53 and the 88 got tangled, and you can't dance like that at this kind of speed, especially coming through the front stretch. As we go to the V-Speed replay here on your screens, and you can watch this. First of all, they were all but 4 wide. And watch the 53 right there. Hooks the 88, brings the 33 in, and they just decide to do some landscaping. Oy! As he takes out the not-so-safer barrier against pit road.
Yeah, not a good hit there for that 53 car. He does have the faster pair, so does Sean Kaiser, so that's the good news in all this. Tyler Justice does as well, but I don't think he'll use it. He didn't take too much damage, so some wrecked race cars, but some race cars that can be fixed, and some drivers that still have 37 laps here to try to find their way back to the front at Auto Club. EOL penalty goes to Jonathan Cofield on that one.
It's going to be a long night. We're just about at the halfway point. 6 cautions in here. And, you know, I don't want to say anybody's really racing crazy. It's just everybody's trying to search for an empty spot on the racetrack just to get in their own groove. And sometimes it just seems like there's already somebody there.
Yeah, I mean, we've had quite a few accidents so far in this race, but with the insane level of racing we've seen, cars fanned out 2, 3, 4 wide all over this racetrack at points. I mean, I don't want to say it's expected, but we have seen some insane racing tonight.
Yeah, as we're just barely under halfway here at Auto Club. Of course, we are way past halfway in our season for the Summer Series. And I mean, with next week at Old Atlanta, it's one of the things that makes me most excited to be part of iRacing. The fact that because of iRacing, these tracks can literally be immortal. You know, of course, Auto Club permanently closed if you check out your Google listings, and Old Atlanta has now been reconfigured into what we call New Atlanta. And it's essentially a mini super speedway. As it looks like Sky has had to step aside for a moment. 6th caution of the evening, the iRacing.com pace car leading us down the backstretch. Lucas Lyons out of Owensboro, Kentucky. Sitting up here, there's Sky. As Mark Whitley, Barrett Morton, Travis Bieber, and Andy Kurtz, your top 5. Jacob Lenke, Joseph McWhorter, Logan Threlkeld, Daniel Crakeel, and Brett Bieber. That's going to be your restarting top 10.
Yes, it will be, and we'll restart on lap 36, which will be just past the halfway point in this race. Looking at our point standings here, it's still tight between Morton and McWhorter. Morton needs McWhorter to have a bad race here if he really wants to close the gap in the front of the standings. Joseph McWhorter has done so well in this series this season that iRacing just shows his average finish as 1, which it might as well be given how many races he's won and how well he has performed week in, week out in the Glove Station ARCA Summer Series. But Morton, 25 points back, is going to want to take a sizable chunk out of that gap tonight to leave him less work to do going into Atlanta. 3rd is Sean Kaiser, who was just involved in that accident, is going to have to roll from the rear, but he's about 50 points back. It would take a miracle for him to grab this title over McWhorter and Morton. Those are the two who are really battling it out. Mark Whitley sits 4th, and he's currently running 2nd, so with a bad night right now for Sean Kaiser after that accident, wouldn't be surprised if Mark Whitley is able to jump into that 3rd spot in the points, try to form a little bit of a gap here over Alan Smith, who's sitting in 5th and has had a pretty middling night tonight, currently running back in 14th. Haven't really seen him up in the top 10 much at all tonight. This would be a pretty big result for Lucas Lyons in the overall point standings, given that I'm pretty sure this is the first race he has ran this season, and therefore he is sitting on 0 points coming into tonight. But, hey, win in your first start is always a pretty good thing, and Lucas Lyons, currently sitting up front after some good pit strategy, is hoping to play that strategy well and pull off that victory here tonight. He will start on the inside. He's chosen the bottom, and that will send Mark Whitley in the 74 up to the top. We're going to roll it down into the restart zone here. Lions had a good jump last time. They'll get a good jump this time. Green flag back out, lap 36.
As we get back underway, Lions gets another good jump. And, we talked about it last time. It's almost like everybody knows that they have to be less aggressive on the restarts, knowing that he's up there, trying not to spin his own tires. And, of course, you don't want to pick up that iRacing.com penalty. So now the 74 of Mark Whitley starts to lead a little bit of a charge here with Travis Bieber and the 37 of Jacob Lanke on the high side. There's a lot of speed locked up there. I say it all the time, but these guys have found where they can get it from. 3 wide, watch the 30 of Logan Threlkeld, and now they're all but 4 wide. A kiss of the wall from the 37. He holds it right between the navigational beacons, and now the 48 of Andy Kurtz could be one of those drivers punted by accident if somebody makes a mistake on the high side. We work here on lap number 37 past the halfway point.
I'll tell you what, we've had some great races this season as we're door-to-door for the lead. Whitley tries to get that run going on the bottom on Lucas Lyons, but he can't quite get it going, and he will drop all the way back to third. Big move for Travis Bieber up to P2. And now Barrett Morton is going to look on the bottom for P3. Can Travis Bieber make the move stick from 29 to 1? He is the leader exiting turn 4, and he's got that spot over Lucas Lyons, who's going to push that 114 car all the way down the straightaway.
Yeah, Lyons not afraid to give a little rub to that bumper there of the 114. Now drops in front of the 74 of Mark Whitley. And now this kind of becomes a speed bump situation. Drivers don't want to get too aggressive behind the 17 because they don't want to wreck themselves out. But at the same time, now they're using him kind of like a pig to draft themselves up to the 114. Now the 17 goes to the low side. He wants his lead back, but can he get it? Not this time as they go wheel to wheel down the front stretch back toward the start-finish line.
And Lyons is going to lose quite a bit of time there in at least one position. He'll drop behind Whitley before finding his way back up into that high line. That seems to be the preferred racing groove right now, as we're side by side for P4 as well. That's Logan Threlkeld, who's been up and down and all around, and we are wrecking. Speaking of up, down, and all around, we got a couple cars around at the front of the field. The 808 of Brett Bieber into the infield, along with, in a separate incident, the 21 of Levi McCarty.
I swear, it seems like when one Bieber is doing really well, the other Bieber just has awful luck. I wish the two of them could just be near each other and they'd be fine. But watching what was happening here on the replay, watch the 808 of Brett Bieber, as it looks like he's just going to get loose. Well, let's watch the rear end of this car step out.
Yeah, it's out of 2. This is actually going into 3. This wreck occurred under caution.
Huh. Yeah, I guess we're going to watch this for just a moment. Here it comes. And we're going to see the rear end of the 808 just keep turning when the rest of the car is.
Gets it down the straightaway. There was definitely some contact here. Yep, there you go.
It was like borderline net code.
Yeah, contact there from behind. Let me get you what car that is. That is the 364 of Zachary Minnis. The accident that brought out the caution was for Levi McCarty, backwards after contact with Mark Cofield in the 97. See that here. This was a hornet's nest back here, and Cofield got off the track into the side of McCarty. Spun him around. A little bit of contact for Brock Price there, but they both make it out without too much damage.
.30 to go here, and it looks like there's a bunch of drivers deciding that they want to come on down pit road as all of a sudden traffic going to pick up on this side of the pit wall. Looks like Logan Threlkeld, Mark Cofield, Tyler Justice, Daniel Parks, Kyle Deering, they're all down, and that's going to cycle Travis Bieber up to the race lead.
Yes, this is in large part the back half of the field that has opted to come down here. The top 15 cars or so have all stayed out, but you've got some of these drivers who were a little further back. Daniel Parks, it's like Sedarius Dias, Daniel Cunningham, Brandon Wallace running a strategy call. The only two cars that came down from that front battle are Lucas Lyons and Logan Threlkeld. Those two cars both made the move down pit road, and they will join some of those back markers on this strategy. We'll see if it works out.
I want to thank our good friends over at Glove Station. Of course, Glove Station, our title sponsor. And here at Glove Station, we are committed to providing quality gloves and protective gear for a wide range of your daily activities and jobs. From tinkering on home DIYs to working in industrial environments and everything in between, we've got you covered. With the endless amounts of safety products on the market, we want to make it effortless for you to find the right protection for your needs.
They do a pretty great job of that. Pretty great job of sponsoring this series as well. I was going to say it there before we had that battle for the lead, but Auto Club really always puts on a show in Goat Locker Racing. This is one of two tracks, this and Homestead. When I see either of them on the schedule for anything Goat Locker related, I know we're going to have an amazing time.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, I look forward to climbing in the booth every Monday night with you. Of course, last Monday I was indisposed, if you will. Actually, at this time last Monday night, I was sitting on a pier having dinner in Myrtle Beach. Not to rub it in or anything.
Yeah, there you go. This time, Monday night, I was sitting in Oklahoma City calling the race. So there you go. We don't really have a beach, but we got like a lake, and that's, you know, it's kind of close enough. Front row will be Travis Bieber. Got the lead there right before that caution came out. Mark Whitley will go from P2 here. A little bit different, as he's been kind of used to starting up in that front position at the start of this race. Joseph McWhorter and Barrett Morton can't get away from each other. They will roll off third and fourth. McWhorter looking for his fourth win in a row in the Glove Station ARCA Summer Series. I believe he has won every race we've held in the last month, so it would feel very good if Travis Bieber is able to put a stop to his reign here in this series. Zachary Minnis from 5th, Jeremiah Holt from P6. The pace car will pull off once again out of 4. We'll get some green flag racing in on lap 43. Good jump for Travis Bieber.
Bieber does get a good jump, but the 72 is now shoveling the 74 down the front stretch and into turn 1 as Bieber gets ready to haul things down into 1. Now the 9 of Barrett Morton tries to get himself up to speed. He's going to do it on his own this time. He doesn't want to have to use anybody else and take a chance, but looking back further in the field, the 34 of Casey Jones right in the middle of the storm with Cofield to the high side, and now to the low, it's the 56 of Benjamin Richards.
Morton only got one win this season. He brought home the opener at Daytona, and it's been a little bit downhill for Morton since. While he's run up front, he hasn't grabbed another win, and McWhorter has run away with the points lead. This would be a big chance for him tonight if he's able to snag a win, steal some points back, and inch closer to that 72 car with only one race remaining after this in the point standings. He's going to run high, and that'll give him a huge run down the back straightaway, but I don't think it'll be enough to attack into 3 and 4. Travis Bieber holds the lead for now, but Morton and Whitley are there.
You know, we've only had 3 winners over 6 races so far. Barrett Morton, as you had mentioned, is one of them. But, you know, and you would think, oh, there's drivers with 2 wins apiece. No, it's Joseph McWhorter with 4 on the season and looking to make it 5 overall. And then Jeremy Gardner at Darlington and Barrett Morton, of course, as you had mentioned, at Daytona. This has just been the McWhorter scene. And looks like right now he's just kind of lurking in the weeds like a lion in the desert.
Morton got around Bieber there for the lead of the race. Slide job off turn 2. But it's Travis Bieber right back to the bottom. The issue is Whitley had a huge push on Morton, and now he'll recreate the move all the way down to the apron. The slide job for the 74 of Mark Whitley, and it doesn't work because Morton and Bieber are going to run a train on the inside, and we're almost wrecking on the outside between Whitley and McWhorter. What a battle this is. Barrett Morton holds the lead.
Yeah, that time it almost looked like the 74 of Whitley had too much momentum and couldn't slow himself down in front of the 9 of Morton. That allows Morton to scamper up here to the lead, and now almost like he's got a steamroller is the 72 of McWhorter. He's had enough of this, and he wants to get up there. He's going to have to hold off the 48 of Andy Kurtz out of Quakertown, Pennsylvania, just up 476 in the city of brotherly love. And now getting into the dance is Eldon Stewart. He looks to the inside of the 73, while Mark Whitley is under assault from Barrett Morton.
Yeah, Mark Whitley stole that lead away there, and now Barrett Morton is trying to get right back to him in that 9 car. Whitley all the way down. I've mentioned it a couple times. That car loves to run the apron. He has been going lower and lower than anybody else in a way usually you would associate running the apron with wrecking, but he has made it work pretty well here in that 74 car tonight. Running right back down on that white line as Morton runs a little bit higher to try to get some momentum off the corner. And the 114 of Travis Bieber continues to stalk behind him, trying to make some time. How about Jeremiah Holt? We saw him up front earlier, got in an accident, went to the back. That car's worked his way back up to P5 in the 73 as he tries to negotiate McWhorter and that 1 car of Eldon Stewart back here. Almost a moment there for Zachary Minnis in the 364, but everybody keeps it straight.
I'm a pretty big guy. Scares like that could send me to the hospital. Minnis now sliding all the way back into 11th position. He's going to have quite the recovery drive to work through. As side by side goes the 17 and the 37, washing up the racetrack, nearly going fender to fender is the 17, and now he's got to hold off Eldon Stewart here in his Toyota Camry. All of a sudden, we've got battles all over the racetrack, and nobody's looking to slow down yet. Daniel Parks deep in the field.
Slide job.
16th position. My God, again with the slide job side by side for the lead.
Morton thought he had him there, but Whitley is going to drive him right back on the inside, and this battle is still not over. Morton's got the push on the top, courtesy of one Travis Bieber in the 114, and that'll get him clear on entry to 3. But the 74 is still digging all on that bottom lane, hasn't left it here in a hot minute. And Morton continues to try to push on the top. He's got those cars lined up. Bieber and Kurtz and McWhorter behind him. And now that Morton is clear, it's the 114 at Travis Bieber's turn to try to attack for the lead. How about Andy Kurtz looking for P3? Started 20th tonight, and he is now 3rd.
Yeah, the amount of positions gained by Bieber and Kurtz combined is absolutely mind-boggling. Whoa! Mind-boggling. Watch the 48 trying to creep his way up to the high side of Bieber, and they're 3 wide behind him. Whitley here shoved in the middle as he's between the 17 and the 72 of McWhorter. This race is far from over with 20 to go.
Hey, how about that strategy call for Lucas Lyons back there? He's presenting it 3 wide on the bottom with Whitley. He's got 20 lap pressure tires than all of these cars in front of him. Watch out, Lucas Lyons is on the move up through the field right now as we're like an Amtrak up here for the lead of the race. Travis Bieber, Barrett Morton, Andy Kurtz, 1, 2, and 3. Bieber's got that run going for now, but Morton and Kurtz will want to get back up there and challenge again. These drivers have been racing hard, and now we're door-to-door for P5. It's Lucas Lyons on the charge as we're door-to-door once again for the lead. We're going to see a slide job here out of Barrett Morton in the 9.
Yeah, Morton drafted just behind the 114, left himself a little bit of gap so he could get the momentum and the clearance that he needed to slide side by side here. They're going to go drag racing style down the back chute, and the 48 right now pushing his fellow statesman into turn 3, now dumps underneath him, and he's going to stab his way to the bottom of turn 4.
Haven't seen Andy Kurtz in the lead all race, but he's going to try to get it done right here. And we're going to have one of the lead lap cars come to the pits. Jeremiah Holt has just pit from P6. So a development to watch there, maybe on fuel here for some of these cars who have run long in this series. We'll keep an eye on that right now. But up front, Joseph McWhorter has pulled back away to the lead of the race, passing that 114 car of Travis Bieber. It's like a game of musical chairs up here at the front of the field, and the 114 will try to get him right back down into 3 and 4. Will we see a slide job from Travis Bieber? He's going to try it, but he can't quite get enough. The 72 of McWhorter holds him down, and it's a great exit for that car as here comes everybody.
Yeah, they were up here shuffling like it was
Andy Kurtz.
A summer afternoon. Oh, God.
Got an under speed limit there, but he almost spun it. Black flag, Travis Bieber too fast entering.
Well, this is an interesting development, especially after both of those drivers had themselves so set here for the twilight of this race. I mean, they were up here shuffling around like a deck of cards. Now, that puts Joseph McWhorter, everybody's favorite, up here into the lead. But after having not having been down since lap 20, McWhorter's going to have to come off pace, and he does down pit road.
We're going to see a lot of cars come down now because all those cars who were out on 30-lap-old tires have just run out of gas. And because they've run out of gas and had to bring it down pit road, it's a new-look front couple cars. The drivers who played that strategy and who have enough, I believe, to make it to the end of the race are going to be in great position. That includes Lucas Lyons, Logan Threlkeld, and Jonathan Cofield, who started this race 4th, 2nd, and 3rd, but have had a wild ride to get there. By the way, I do want to mention this black flag for Eldon Stewart, too fast on pit road. He and Bieber, the only two who got that penalty. Whole new look top 10, though. It's Lyons, Threlkeld, Cofield, Wallace, Bieber, Justice, Kaiser, Parks, McCarty, and Bontrager. Your cars who played that off strategy and who, if it stays green, are going to be the ones battling for the win.
Yeah, we may have kind of raised an eyebrow earlier when we saw this pit strategy come into play, but it almost looks like Lyons is going to be the one poised to have the most comfortable finish here, fuel-wise, of these non-pitting cars. Looks like Lyons, Threlkeld, and Wallace. Cofield's the one that's really rolling the dice.
Yeah, I don't think Cofield's going to be able to make it. Those cars last time, the longest anyone could go was 33, and that was with quite a few caution laps. We've had much less caution laps in the second half of this race, and Cofield has only gone, as he goes to the lead here, he's gone 23, so he might run out with about 3 to go here. We will see what happens to that 53 car. His play now is to just run it long and hope the caution flag flies sometime in the next 5 or 6 laps. And he's able to pit with everybody else here and stay in position for this battle. Here are these cars going to unlap themselves. That is Whitley getting his lap back in the 74 car as Cofield and Lyons do battle for the lead. They're drafting off that 74 car, which is going to give him speed. There's the caution. Charles Abert is around. Big accident here. Mark Whitley is going to be your big winner as Jacob Lanky totals himself. Whitley got back on the lead lap. That is going to be massive for that 74 car.
That also puts McWhorter going to be the lucky dog, so he's going to go back onto the lead lap. All of a sudden, the big players are back in the lead lap, and there's a lot of drivers that need to come down pit road now for a splash of fuel.
Yeah, it's a wave around for everybody else. Everybody else doesn't get to take tires. They only get the wave around. Mark Whitley is going to go from the front of the field here while everybody else who's on this strategy has to go from the rear. So this could not be any better for that 74 car. He's got it perfect. I mean, that caution could not have come out at a better time.
Well, as we look and see what brought the caution out, the 808 gets spun around and clips the 7, who then just absolutely pirouettes down the front stretch. The nose clip turning off and turning on. Thank you, graphics department. As my goodness, it looks like they just collected the trash and hurled it right into the middle of the racetrack.
Here comes all those cars who stayed out. Cofield, Lyons, Justice, Threlkeld, Kaiser, all down in one fell swoop here. That'll be your top 15 in. Mark Whitley will stay out. Mark Whitley, will also come in. And we got a car around on pit road. Ricky Sisk is spun out in the middle of the pit lane.
Can't park there, that's for sure. Watch this here on the replay. I don't know, I'm sure that he didn't mean to do that, but, hey,
This is Aber.
And sideways is the 7.
I am not sure what happened to Ricky Sisk. It looks like he pulled it into his pit stall and then came in a little too hot, spun it out there. Issues for a few cars on pit road. So Whitley came down there. He came down with everybody else to put tires on it. So he is not going to take advantage. If he had stayed out there, he would have gone right to the lead, but he has instead opted to pit, and he will roll from the back of this long, long line of cars. Meaning, playing it perfectly here, your leader on 4 tires will be Jonathan Cofield. He will be followed off by Tyler Justice, Logan Threlkeld, Sean Kaiser, Brandon Wallace, Lucas Lyons, Levi McCarty, Daniel Parks, Sidarius Dias, and Daniel Cunningham. And those drivers who pit there on about lap 40 have played it perfectly. They're going to be the ones battling for the lead with 10 to go.
Yeah, these drivers have now picked the best time to turn up the heat. I mean, you know, at this point, the broiler's running and it's time to get that roast in there. As Cofield going to have a lot of guys now coming around to pick that lap back up behind him, essentially, and everybody's going to be hungry. This might be the best finish that we get all season.
And I'll tell you what, we've had some good ones this season. Homestead comes to mind as a track that always produces here in Goat Locker. And as I mentioned earlier, this race Auto Club is no different. We've got a couple more DNFs, cars who have retired from the session here. Under that run, Douglas Macedo, Eldon Stewart, Doug Ellingson, Craig Bontrager, Nathan Fox, and Travis Bieber are all done for the night. Travis Bieber led some laps here, had a good run going, but was caught up in that accident and is subsequently out of the race. I wonder if we're going to go another lap here because we still have half the field trying to get away from him. You'll see Andy Kurtz go flying in out of turn 2 here in just a second. This is going to be
really hard.
Yeah, this is going to be a scramble here for these cars to catch back up, and that could be really bad for Barrett Morton, Alan Smith, who are just now rolling down the back straightaway in this line. Jamie Libke, Zachary Minnis, Colton Sisk also trying to pull it back up there, but for the cars who have caught back up, we'll be going back green this time on lap 61. It'll be at the front of your field. Jonathan Cofield in the 53 on the top, Tyler Justice in the 33 on the bottom. We hit the restart zone. Cofield goes late, and he gets a great jump. Green flag back out at Auto Club.
Cofield with the jump now gets a decent lead over Kaiser as they're still trying to settle things out. The 88 and the 33 trying to decide who's going to go for P2. The 30 of Logan Threlkeld kind of lurking behind, waiting for somebody to make a mistake. 10 laps to go at Auto Club Speedway here in the Goat Locker Racing Glove Station ARCA Series. You're listening live on V-Speed, of course, as the 88 now dives below the 53, blows his doors off, and he just gives him a little waggle of the fingers out the window net as he's going to take over the lead, but get a push from behind from Cofield.
Caution is out at the back. Daniel Parks is around and through the infield. Contact with, well, it looks like a couple of cars here. It started with the 97 of Mark Cofield and then kind of spiraled from there. Pretty big hits for a few cars at the back. Major damage for the 71 car here as you'll see him go around off the corner. And it is a major hit for Andy Kurtz in the 48. Man, that is a driver who had a great race going. He'll take the faster pair, but his chances of winning are done because he's so far back with so little time left.
Yeah, you know, time is melting fast, and these drivers are going to have to sort this out themselves. And quite frankly, we're about to see the torches and pitchforks come out because they have got to battle this one out. Something fierce. 9 cautions over 62, almost 63 laps in the books. And, you know, that's a long night at Auto Club.
Yes, it is. Laps are rapidly running down here in this race. It's going to be Sean Kaiser going from the front of the field here when we get back going. on, it looks like it'll be lap 65. A couple cars down pit road here. Mostly drivers involved in these accidents. Stephon Davis, Zachary Minnis, Daniel Parks, Andy Kurtz, all down.
Yeah, drivers, this is the time of night where, you either are made or broken. Kaiser, Cofield, Threlkeld, we know that they've got, the skill to boogie around here. But at the same time, we look deeper here. McCarty, he's hungry. Everybody's really hungry thanks to what McWhorter's done. But watch where that 74 and 72 are back in 9th and 12th, respectively. And, that's dangerous.
Yeah, those cars are stuck in the mid-pack. This is looking to be really good for Joseph McWhorter because, as mentioned, his only real competition for the title here is that 9 car of Barrett Morton. McWhorter is that 72 car there in 12th. Morton is 17th here, so he's rolling from behind McWhorter. He's going to need to make up some spots here if he wants to stay in it at the present moment. And I think we might have some beef out here on the racetrack because Benjamin Richards has just sent in chat that he is planning to wreck someone under caution. So, beef involving a couple cars here on lap 58.
That sounds like so much fun.
Yeah, tasty beef there here, rolling in the mid-pack at the present moment. As we are. Oh, excuse me. That might be a typo. It looks like he wrecked. We had an incident with Benjamin Richards under caution. Mark Whitley blinked out of the session, and Richards ran straight into the back of him while he was blinked out and totaled his car. So I'm not sure what happened there. I'm not sure if that is going to have any knock-on effect for damage to Mark Whitley. I've got no clue how that's going to affect that 74 car, seeing as he was blinked out of the session when the contact occurred, but that is going to be the end of the night for Benjamin Richards. We're going to try to figure out if that will affect Mark Whitley at all. We are going to go back green here on lap 65. That Mark Whitley car will roll off from 9th. Leader of a ton of laps here tonight, but maybe with some damage from an incident under caution. It doesn't look like he has any on the car, but with iRacing netcode, you can never really know for sure. It'll be Kaiser and it'll be Cofield up here on the front row. Threlkeld and Justice will go from 3rd and 4th as we get ready to go back green here. Pace car is in. Green flag is out for the 88 of Sean Kaiser.
As the green flag flew, there was some contact between the 808 and the 45. That's going to send him back, the 808, back in front of the 72 of McWhorter. Kaiser gets a decent jump, but now Logan Threlkeld in the 30 having to hold off 3 angry Hornets behind him, anchored by Levi McCarty, who is fighting his way out of a 3-wide situation, nearly puts the 99 into the fence as they're now pushed down the back chute by the 45, the 88 of Sean Kaiser, diving down into turn 3. We're 6 laps to go.
Yes, we are side by side for the lead of the race here between Kaiser and Cofield. Oh, car around! That's the 43 of Brock Price. Big hit for Ricky Sisk, and we are back under caution at Auto Club. I was going to note here, we got some extra info from the chat. Mark Whitley did take some damage, but I believe he took a fast repair there, and that's why his car was cleaned up.
10th caution of the evening with 5 to go. This is going to set us up for a green-white checker, but it's technically a regular green-white checker, not NASCAR overtime.
Yeah, so we will see what happens here. I think we will get a natural green-white checker just on laps left. And it'll be Kaiser and Cofield up there 1 and 2 with Justice. And how about Logan Threlkeld back up here 3 and 4?
4 laps to go, as it's going to be Kaiser, Cofield, and Justice. Who's going to be your pick, and then who would be your dark horse candidate to bring home that checkered flag with this much time left?
Well, I think my pick is going to have to be the leader, Sean Kaiser, just because he's third in points. He's been up front for most of this race. He's got a pretty good car here, and with so few laps left, starting up front could be where he needs to be to get it done. In terms of dark horses, I like Levi McCarty rolling from P6 on this restart in that 21 car. Started out back in 34th. He's been involved in like 2 accidents tonight, but he still drove it back up through the field to get to that 6th position. And we have an EOL penalty for Barrett Morton, which is going to be disastrous for the championship fight after that accident.
Yeah, time has definitely run out of the hourglass now. Drivers are going to have no choice but to go full send mode, and for many of them, they've been full send all night long. I mean, Levi McCarty, running in 6th position after starting in 25th, gets that, and then EOL penalty going to Barrett Morton here. So that's going to be major for him after he had worked his way so high up tonight.
Yeah, that is going to be really bad for that 9 car. It might take him out of the championship fight entirely here. He is going to need a monster run at Homestead. He's basically going to need McWhorter to finish last. Excuse me, not at Homestead, at New Atlanta, or Old Atlanta, I believe, is the title race for this series, if he wants to stay in it here for the championship of this series. I mean, it could be maybe a 35-point gap here if the points hold. That is devastating for Morton. And it looks like we will use one of our 2 green-white checkers here. 3 to go. The lights on the pace car are still on, so we will head into the green-white checkered here with 2 to go.
Well, race control obviously wanted to make sure that all the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed, and also takes the ability for anybody to drive crazy off the table, as now they've only got 1 left after this restart. So, folks, what that means at home is that we're going to go green flag racing with essentially 2 laps to go. We are going to race around back to the white flag, and then as long as there's no caution flag, if the caution flies between the waving of the green flag and the white flag, we will rack them, stack them, and do it all over again. However, if the white flag flies, we will race back to checkers, and the next flag will end the race, whether that flag is yellow or checkered.
That we will. We'll get doubled up here, and it'll be up on the front row. Sean Kaiser on the top. He's picked that high side, and Jonathan Cofield down there on the bottom. Brock Price has disconnected from the session here, so that is going to be another DNF here tonight for that 43 car, and we're going to get back ready to roll here. Tyler Justice, Logan Threlkeld in row 2. Levi McCarty doing what he's done for a lot of this season and starting out back and driving it all the way up through the field. We'll go from P6 here tonight. Brett Bieber, P7. Sedarius Dias in 8th. Daniel Cunningham, 9th. Mark Whitley, with that fixed-up car, will go from 10th. How about this? 5th, 7th, 8th, and 9th all started outside the top 25 cars here tonight. We have had some drivers move their way up through the field from bad qualifying positions. Cunningham, Bieber, and McCarty have made great progress. We're going to take the green flag here with 2 to go, and we're going to find out who's going to win this race. Pace car ducks down. It's Kaiser. It's Cofield. Green flag is out at Auto Club.
Kaiser gets the start here, and as he pulls away from the 53 of Jonathan Cofield, they go side by side and wheel to wheel between the 30 and the 33. 2 laps to go, as now the 33 of Tyler Justice hauls it to the inside. He's able to get against the white line, but he can't hold it there and can't rotate well enough, as now we're going to go side by side for the lead. The 53 goes and peeks to the inside of Sean Kaiser's 88 Chevrolet. And now we have a new race lead. No, we don't. The 53 still being scored P2. There he goes. securing away the lead here with the white flag in the hand of Barney in the flag stand. As they come across the start-finish line, the white flag is in the air. We're racing back to checkers.
Jonathan Cofield has the lead right now, but Sean Kaiser has been there all race, and he's there when it matters right now. Logan Threlkeld rolls from P3 here tonight. We'll see what he can do. He gives a push to Kaiser off into the corner, and it's going to be one more chance through turns 3 and 4. The 88 is closing. He needs to make his move now. Slider down to the inside. Can he get clear of the 53 of Jonathan Cofield? Not happening. Door to door off of 4 contact between the two cars. Drag race to the line. Jonathan Cofield gets it by an inch at Auto Club.
The 53 comes across the line and secures the win. He's followed by Sean Kaiser and Logan Threlkeld. Levi McCarty thought he was going to give Threlkeld a run for his money, but Threlkeld said, "Not so fast, my friend," but congratulations to race winner Jonathan Cofield. He started in P3. He only led 6 laps, but of course led the most important one, and that's the final.
He will get it done over Sean Kaiser, Logan Threlkeld, and Levi McCarty here tonight. Great strategy played in the latter half of this race to allow this 53 car to get the win here tonight at Auto Club. Also, someone interrupting Joseph McWhorter's dominance. He won 3 races coming into this. McWhorter will only finish 8th. I believe his worst result of the season. And we'll let you listen to Jonathan Cofield as he burns it down here at Auto Club. And as he parks it in victory lane, we are going to head down to a commercial here. When we come back, we'll have results and interviews with your top 3. Stay tuned.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you, day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
We are back here at Auto Club, and we're going to read off your finishing results here for tonight's race. As mentioned, your winner, Jonathan Cofield in the 53 car over Sean Kaiser in the 88 and Logan Threlkeld in the 69. Levi McCarty brings it home P4 tonight. Brett Bieber is going to go from P5. Mark Whitley recovers to finish 6th with Daniel Cunningham 7th. Your points leader, Joseph McWhorter 8th, Tyler Justice 9th, and Lucas Lyons P10.
Finishing in 11th is Brandon Wallace with Zachary Minnis in his 364. He comes home in 12th. 13th goes to Stefan Davis, as 14th goes to Alan Smith. Andy Kurtz out of Quakertown, PA, he comes home in 15th with Phoenix, Arizona's Jamie Libke in 16th. Sedarius Dias, he comes home in 45th with Daniel Crankiel, Jacob Blinky, and Mark Cofield rounding out your top 20.
Finishing back from there in 21st tonight is Jeremiah Holt. Colton Sisk, 22nd. Daniel Parks, 23rd. Casey Jones, 24th. Disaster for Barrett Morton, 2nd in points. Only 25th tonight. Dave Calvert brings it home, P26. Ricky Sisk, 27th. Brock Price, 28th. Craig Bontrager, 29th. And Kyle Deering, 30th.
Craig Bontrager finishes in 31st with Benjamin Richards. He's in 32nd. 33rd goes to Eldon Stewart with Travis Bieber in 34th. 35th goes to Doug Ellingson as Douglas Macedo. He finishes 36th. Josh Unger in 37th, and beating everyone to the beer stand tonight is Jake Ellingson in his number 27, coming in 38th.
We're going to immediately pull up here into the booth your race winner tonight. That is the 53 car of Jonathan Cofield. Jonathan, how does it feel?
Oh, good, man. How y'all today?
Pretty good, pretty good. You got up there on some good strategy and got the win when it counted. Tell me how you pulled it off.
I just got lucky, really. Got in a little crash with a Kaiser there. Lucky he could come back. It was wild back there, man. 3 or 4 wide, people getting in the wall, big checkups. I mean, you had to be on your toes where to go, and a lot of times I went to the wrong place. But yeah, I got into Kaiser and spun him out and got some damage. Come back and fixed it. Had to take a set of tires, so we were down a set. But luckily it all worked out.
All right, you got it done here tonight at Auto Club. You've got one race left in the season. That's next week at Old Atlanta. Are you excited for that one?
Oh yeah, Old Atlanta's always fun. Yeah, don't know if I'll be here for that one or not. A couple of my other leagues is on break, so I was just coming in here with my teammates, my dad, just hanging out, do a little racing on a Tuesday night.
Hey, seems like that worked out pretty well for you. Anyone you have to thank tonight?
Oh yeah, you guys that doing the broadcast at V Speed, really appreciate what you guys do. Everybody at Goat Locker and all their sponsors, everything they're doing for veterans. They're really giving out them sim rigs, man. It's pretty awesome to watch. Bandits Motorsports, just everybody on the team. Cofield Asphalt Refinishing, Cofield Supply and Service, SM Racing Products. You ain't got a button box, go check those guys out. Type in Bandits One, save you a little money, and congrats to the 3 on the podium.
All right, congrats on your win tonight. Jonathan Cofield in the 53 car. Have a good night.
Thank you, buddy.
We are going to send it now in just a second here over to our second place finisher tonight. That is the 88 car of Sean Kaiser, who was able to get it done in tonight's race. Bit of a technical issue here. Give us just 1 second and we will get that interview set up for you here. And it just
A little bit of a technical.
All right, there you go,
difficulty.
Dave. We got him.
Ah, there he is. Sean Kaiser, Dave Regal up in the broadcast booth to get a copy.
I got to.
Well, you start P8, you finish P2, and after leading 9 laps, you couldn't get it done tonight, but still, it's got to feel pretty good there in Bellingham.
Oh yeah, it feels pretty good. Trust me, I had my share. I got involved in a wreck in the middle of the race, and the whole entire pack was just nuts. And getting through it was just absolutely crazy. It was a lot of fun, and it was terrifying at the same time. But I'm happy I could come back from the back and finish up front, close to where I started. And P2, I'll take it. Wish I had something for. Well, I did have something for Cofield, I feel like, but it's just the way it works with the momentum. You know, I tried doing the slide job just like I did earlier to him, and he did to me, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah, I mean, you guys were incredible here in the closing laps of tonight's race. I mean, you know, side by side for as long as you were, especially in some of the highlights that we've been running. I mean, you guys really gave everything that you could to get this thing done. But unfortunately, tonight you fall a little bit short, but not the end of the world. At least you finally beat the winning streak of Joseph McWhorter with Cofield up in the lead tonight. But
That's true.
before we cut you loose, who do you need to tip your helmet to, and who helped you get it done on the 88 team tonight?
Just my Bandits Motorsports, my team. I mean, we talked great during the race, and just the do's and do's not, what helps, what didn't, what our tires looked like, and then with my team, Cofield Asphalt Refinishing and Cofield Supplies and Service. Also, thank Jam Printing Promotions, the Glove Station, you guys, V Speed, for putting on a great broadcast, and Alexander PCs.
All right, my friend, congrats on the P2 finish. We'll see you next week in Hotlanta.
I appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
All right. And
I believe you've got, yep.
Yep, I was going to say, I'll pick it back up here. We got Logan Threlkeld up here coming into the booth in just a second. Logan, I'm used to you being on the other side of this. How's the podium feel?
It feels pretty nice down here. I wish I was a couple steps up, but we'll take third place.
Yeah, I know. It's your first start of the season, I believe, here. So how is it coming into a series that you haven't really ran and immediately being fast?
It feels pretty good. This will be my second start. I had an off week with another league that hopped in. I think it was for Charlotte, if I recall correctly. Had a decent night there, and I don't think I got a podium, but back it up here for the second visit, I'll certainly take it.
Yeah, there you go. Are you going to be here next week, or is this just a one-time thing? I got to ask.
It's Old Atlanta next week, right?
Yes.
Oh, we should probably be here for that. I like Old Atlanta. These cars handle that track pretty well, so it's I expect it to be a pretty fun race. I don't really want to miss that one.
All right, tell us about that pit strategy there that got you up to the front. You were one of the only leaders that came down to take that strategy. What was your thought process there?
Well, I knew it was risky because I came out with 26 laps of fuel and it was still 30 to go, I think, at that point. So I was a little bit shy coming out, but I was really banking on another caution to come out, extend that fuel run a little bit. And we started to put together a decent green flag run. And, all the leaders finally made their way down to top off on fuel, came back out. And I think at that point I was running third there. And, it got a little hairy. I had to start backing down the corner a little bit. Started saving fuel pretty hard. I'm sure a keen eye would have noticed the ground that I was losing, but it worked out. But caution finally came, and we were able to get back down pit road, get some fresh tires. The last set of the night, throw it under there, top off on fuel just a little bit more in case we had some green white checkers, and we are set and sailing to the end.
All right, anyone you have to thank tonight?
Absolutely. iRacing, of course, for this fine service that we get to utilize week in and week out above the yellow line for everything that they do, Sim Motion, and of course, Glove Station here for being the title sponsor of our ARCA series on Monday nights. You guys up here in the V Speed booth can't wait to watch this one back. Love being able to do that. That's one of my favorite parts of coming over here. And of course, working with you, Sky, I'm sure it's going to be great. But V-Speed, of course. And then my teammate over here at Powerhouse Motorsports, Eldon Stewart, not the night he was looking for. Michael Jones not here. TJ Peters and Cody Anderson.
I was going to say, I hope you have the sponsors ready to thank because you're going to need them memorized here in about a month and a half when we get going again. Congrats on
absolutely.
third place, Logan Threlkeld.
Thanks, Guy. See ya.
All right, we're going to move into a quick preview of next week, our final race of the season at Old Atlanta. Dave, tell us a little bit about that track.
Old Atlanta is one of those bread and butter tracks on the NASCAR circuit. I mean, of course, Old Atlanta is the place where Richard Petty could claim his big old feather on that hat. But we're going to watch a lot of great racing. Of course, the one thing that I'm always watching is that dip that goes from the front stretch into turn one. It's vicious, it's fast, and I can't wait to see these drivers try to navigate it.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And heading into this race, I don't want to prematurely announce this, but it is a 39-point lead for Joseph McWhorter over Barrett Morton. And that is going to be near insurmountable. So it's looking like it might be a Joseph McWhorter championship run going into next week at Old Atlanta. Thank you so much for watching here tonight. As always, live on V-Speed for this. For everybody back at V-Speed and at Goat Locker Racing, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Also, for myself and Dave and Michael up here in the booth, we had a great time tonight, and I hope you did too. Have a good night.